Three, and a 2, and a 1. Intro, go. It's the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast, coming to you live on Double C TV, featuring Darren.
Oh God, we're doomed.
And Double C. Wrestling gets you laid. Gotcha. As they take on 5 hours of WWE programming.
I'm pretty sure he fudged it just while he was doing the Hurricane Run. Like, oh God, I don't know how to do this correctly.
Yes! Here we go again. This is the 5th live show.
Hooray.
Keeping track. Yes. And this is like the second busiest show we have all year. Because next week, of course, is the big one.
Yeah.
Wrestlemania.
Oh God, I feel bad because I should be happy because WrestleMania is the big event. But I just want these fucking storylines to end.
And they will end in 5 days.
So,
well, most of them will.
Light at the end of the tunnel, I hope.
Yeah. So, so this is going to be the last show before the WrestleMania thing because Smackdown's already done. Smackdown has already been taped yesterday. They did a super show sort of thing where they only do a couple matches for Smackdown and they're going to fill in the rest for Access. So the only thing that's to note is Vince McMahon's big announcement. And we'll cover that next time. Yeah.
If it's firing the writers, then you're a little late on that, dude. Because I would have done that months ago.
Yeah. But this is pretty much it as far as the home stretch goes.
Yeah, we're on the last few days. Let's actually talk about what the hell happened.
Yeah.
And see about how fucking upset I'll get at all this.
Mm-hmm. So, Smackdown. Starting with Smackdown, of course, from the 25th, and then Monday Night Raw on the 1st, April Fools. Smackdown. The show starts off with The Rock, because this is The Rock show, Smackdown. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "It's time for more story time with The Rock." And
Hooray.
He talks about his quest for chocolate because they're in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Fucking A. You know, I could have run down there. I'm 45 minutes away from Hershey. I have family that lives in Hershey. I could have run down there and yelled at them and told them how shits they are. And I haven't done it. That's my only regret right now. I could have done it. I have to wait now for a while till they come back. So, after that, he gets interrupted, of course, by Naturally.
Big Johnny, John Laurinaitis. He finally shows his ugly neck again.
Hooray. Hooray, I thought I wasn't disgusted enough.
He says he basically sees an opportunity to get in the company again, and he goes, he wants to be in The Rock's corner against John Cena. The Rock ponders for a moment, sticks out his hand, they shake hands, and then Big Johnny eats the people's elbow. Yes. So.
Wow, I didn't see that one coming. How unpredictable you guys are.
But, yeah. I actually like to see John Laurinaitis, Mr. Excitement, on TV sometimes. Not all the time, just sometimes.
Yeah. I'm half and half. Because it feels like, as good as a bad guy as he is, I do feel like he's a decent bad guy. There's some shit he says it's just plain stupid.
Right. Well, we got some matches to cover. Chris Jericho versus Wade Barrett with Miz on commentary.
Mm-hmm.
This entire match pretty much goes... Barrett argues with The Miz because The Miz is on commentary. And they're like taunting to each other. And then Jericho goes, well, Codebreaker, I win. That's what Jericho does. Afterwards.
And I thought the Fandango angle was using too much of a good talent.
And we're just getting to that. And Jericho makes fun of Fandango's name some more.
Rightfully so, to be quite honest.
Fandango arrives, stares, and then leaves.
Yes, because we wouldn't want to have altercations in our wrestling show.
No, you gotta say that for Wrestlemania.
God, this show is such a fucking tease.
Up next, we have Triple H video package. Then
Should we care?
no, because I just have to mention it.
God
Integrity.
damn it. You're not Kurt Angle, dude.
I have more integrity than Kurt Angle. Okay.
I was about to say something about that. I mean, the man instead of going to wrestle on the Olympics in 2012, stayed in TNA. How much integrity do you have since then?
I don't know. I just I did a little binging on some wrestling history, specifically their title belts, and apparently TNA's title belts, they don't last very long because some people don't know how to take care of title belts, like cough cough Jeff Hardy. I don't know. And that one time that RVD left it at the airport.
Smooth.
Okay, getting back up to speed, we have an interview with Paul Heyman about the Triple H Brock Lesnar thing. He goes, pretty much, Brock Lesnar is going to end Triple H's career, yada yada yada. He's going to break him, yada yada yada.
Yeah, whatever. Bad guy stuff.
Yep. Up next, we have the Bench Press Challenge. Now, basically, this is a 225-pound barbell. To do bench presses, most reps win. They make the combine record, they state that several times, at 51 reps. There is a bunch of altercations between Booker T and Teddy Long, because they're both there. And how Teddy Long is pretty much like getting in the way of Booker. There's tension. Teddy Long.
Who wants tension between wrestlers? That's just silly.
Or even,
we want to see it between the managers. Oh, maybe we'll want to see announcers fighting.
I've already seen referees fight. It wasn't pretty.
Oh, God. Sarcasm is probably... They say sarcasm is the lowest form of art. How much lower can you get than wrestling, though, sometimes?
I saw... what was it? Earl Hebner versus Nick Patrick.
I'm not even...
At the Invasion pay-per-view. Anyways, Mark Henry does 53 reps. Ryback is also doing 53 reps, but he gets stopped because Henry goes, "Oh no, he's not going to beat me. I'm going to push the barbell on his chin and choke him." Does so. No contact clause, whatever.
Okay, whatever.
They're being clever, or trying to be.
They're trying to be as clever as you can be with the wit that seems to be in the writers' heads.
Oh.
I'm gonna say this once. I honestly think that if you don't tell these fucking writers that they have to breathe a few seconds, they probably forget and die of suffocation. That's how much low wit they seem to have.
Yeah. Pretty much. Especially with our scripted promos and all that stuff. We can get into that, but I'll give you the short version. Promos are scripted, pretty much down to the word. Triple H is trying to get it so it's just bullet points to back where it was in the old days. There.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Dolph Ziggler and AJ versus Daniel Bryan and Caitlyn.
Hooray.
And AJ hits rolling neck breakers. Which is actually kind of interesting to see. Haven't seen that done before. And then Caitlyn promptly spears AJ in half.
Yeah, that's about right. Okay, AJ's so tiny. I could just fart on her and she'd probably snap in half.
Up next, we have a Shield shaky cam segment.
Thank God I didn't see it, because once again, my videographer in me would be screaming at the television set.
They say the same things over and over again. Pretty much, it's you guys can't work together because you guys are like egomaniacal douchebags.
Because you guys just suck slow.
Pretty much.
That's what it's coming down to right now.
Yeah, it is, actually. You know.
God Lord.
Well, we can't really, stretch this out anymore. And it's already, razor thin at this moment.
Like I said before, sometimes you feel like the writers are just writing because they have to.
Yeah. Up next, we have the Great Khali against Jack Swagger. Double count out because Jack Swagger hit the ankle lock outside the ring. Ricardo hops out, and then Del Rio gets hit, or Ricardo gets hit, breaks his ankle again, and Del Rio attacks, tries to hit with crutch, they leave. Yeah. Up next, Punk Undertaker package. Moving on. Main event. 4 matches in this Smackdown.
4 matches.
Yes.
Oh, I know they're saving up for WrestleMania.
Yeah. Sheamus, Orton, Big Show. Forgot. There's a backstage interview with Sheamus, Orton, Big Show. They set aside their differences. Orton plays cheerleader. Now it's time for the main event. With Sheamus, Orton, Big Show versus Rhodes Scholars and Antonio Cesaro.
Why? Because we just need them to be the fuck there.
Yeah.
I mean, the awesome tag team plot is just out the window.
Apparently Cesaro has a new gimmick. He can yodel. Not making this up. Hello, WrestleCrap.
You guys. Just...
Get it? Because he's Swedish. And he can...
If I bang my head loud enough, can you tell by my rage and you can tell how stupid something is? I swear to God, I'm gonna have an indent in my head one of these days. From the so many times I smacked my forehead. My forehead will never be white again. It will be always red.
Not much to say about this match. The faces win because they're faces. And Shield comes down on the stands. And then but the faces go, oh yeah, well we're going to take the fight to you. And they fight in the stands. Faces prevail.
Hooray.
Yeah, that was Smackdown. Bunch of nothing.
Yeah, it's supposed to be setting up. I know it's trying to set up. But good lord, there's better ways to set up.
Yeah, SmackDown really doesn't need to exist at this point. I mean, you could take the last 3 SmackDowns. And the next one. Erase them from existence.
Throw them away. They do not matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, really. Except for Ricardo breaking his ankle, and that's the only thing that matters.
And you can easily do that on Raw.
Yeah.
Speaking of Raw.
I got a lot of things to talk about on Raw.
And I have a lot of things to yell about.
First up, John Cena comes out to the ring. And he says that the childish games are over. And then promptly says that he's sick of talking about Dwayne Johnson.
Alright, there are 5 lights. Can we go on, please?
The crowd is having nothing of it.
I'm with the crowd.
There's a boring...
They're shouting boring.
Yes, there was a boring chant.
I'm totally with them.
And John Cena also seems to be rather butthurt about the new title. Saying that...
I guess because it's better than yours.
Because it doesn't need to spin, or it's a toy.
It's a gimmicky thing.
Yeah.
It actually looks like a freaking title.
Yeah, exactly. John Cena doesn't like it. He says, but I will get it and I will defend it. Because I'm John Cena. I'm better than The Rock.
Whatever. This was a stupid long-ass promo.
It was.
It literally did nothing.
Right. Match number 1. The 3-man band versus Team... What?
Team Omega Orton and his friends.
Yeah. The Omega Orton trio. How about that?
Yeah, that's about as good as I got it.
Yeah. Faces hit their finishers and win. I wanted to fast forward through this match like I did the other one last week. But, whatever. Shield comes...
No, Shield comes down, they say their shit again.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys just can't work as a team, you guys suck, lol. We're just awesome because we are a better group than you, blah, 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 blah.
And that guy kept on trying to get into the camera.
I was half thinking with that dude, put him in a body bag, Johnny!
Oh, so yeah. Mock the heroes, they leave. Next up.
Oh, God. You guys are so fucking stupid.
Coulter's Corner.
Live from Washington.
Yeah, Washington green screen, because you cannot get that angle without using one.
Without using one, and without a million snipers aiming at your head.
So
I would have loved to see them try. And try their shit. I honestly would love to see that. Not because they're the bad guys, because try to explain this shit to the authorities.
They say that they're going to break Del Rio's spirit and usher in a new age of America.
And at one point I literally said, let me get. They said that there's something wrong with America as they're in front of the White House. I'm half tempted to say, let me guess, it's because we have a Democratic leader and you think he's a communistic red pinko bastard, right?
I was going to say because he's black.
I'm going with the more political end, since they like to talk about politics.
Oh, there was a lot of that. Oh. There was a lot of that in this show.
People are fucking idiots.
Del Rio has a backstage interview right afterwards. He says that he's gonna turn Zeb Coulter into a piñata.
And also, Alberto Del Rio is a bit of an idiot if you can't see that this is a trap. This is so obviously a trap for him. You might as well just put a big sign off. Why doesn't he come down in a Lamborghini and just try to run their asses over?
You could do that in WWE 13. And I bet a bunch of people already have. Watch out for the backstage segment. If you're in one of those created stories and there's a backstage segment, one of 3 things are going to happen.
You get your ass run over?
Yeah. You get ran over. You get your head smashed into a car window. Or a monster truck comes and trashes your car. That's it.
Interesting.
I need to pick that up.
Once again, you can see that things happen only because people are morons. You're not pushing the fact that we're legal entertainment form because you make it so that that only an idiot can like it. And that's the worst part of this. It's like in Star Trek when they bring up the Prime Directive and they say that, this planet is dying. The people on it are surely to perish, but because they're pre-warped and because of our Prime Directive, we will let them die and not do a damn thing. It's like that. You feel disgusted and you feel like these guys are just dogmatic idiots. And trust me, I'll talk about morals later.
Right. Next up, Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler in Match of the Night match.
Yeah, this was the best match of the night.
Yeah. Daniel Bryan whips out the tarantula. I mark out for that, by the way.
And I thank God that at least somebody knows how to do some older moves.
And the double cross body was awesome too.
That was fun to see. Though it looked more like Ziggler got the most of it.
Oh yeah.
Bryan did.
But the sound it made, ooh.
Oh yeah, that was a nice thud.
Of course, we can't have this match without shenanigans, so here are the shenanigans. AJ just skips around, distracts Kane, and immediately gets mowed down by Big E.
By Big E.
Big E then gets hit by a baseball slide.
Very nice.
And then Ziggler wins by pulling the tights.
Apparent tap out. Not apparent tap out. Apparent pinfall for 3 when we obviously saw that he got out before the 3 count.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It looked like he got out. Honestly, it looked like it was a 2 count. But somehow it counted like a 3.
Maybe one was off camera or something.
Maybe, I don't know. But I swear that was not a good 3 count.
Maybe it'll be on Botchamania. I'm
going with that. I'm going with incompetence because nobody is competent in this entire show except for Daniel Bryan.
Big E comes out and is like, no, I'm going to mow down Daniel Bryan. And he mows down Daniel Bryan. And King comes up and is like, you can't do that. Tries to choke slam. Big E powers out.
Big E powers out in the goofiest way imaginable.
Bug-eyed and stuff.
Bug-eyed, 2 hands on Kane's 1 hand.
Mm-hmm.
It looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler are going on about how Big E is a power lifter and how he's won medals and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, yes, I bet it's so great for a guy who's using 2 hands to beat a guy with 1 hand. I mean, that just takes an amazing feat of strength right there.
Yeah, so after the big markouts by the announcer markout.
Oh, there's a ton of that.
Yeah, because the crowd doesn't buy it. This was a very smarky crowd.
No, this was a crowd that did not give a shit. It was like it was full of me.
Oh, that's scary.
Actually, no, it's not full of me. Because if it was actually full of me, everybody would have rushed the stage.
Yeah,
at the last.
Yeah, that would have been a riot.
We would have rioted. I would have formed the riot crowd, and Punk would not be able to gotten out of there safely.
Yeah. Now, next up, we have a Shawn Michaels segment. He comes out to the ring.
Why? I guess because.
Because Triple H is involved. So
for a guy who's retired, he seems to like to come out every now and then.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not wrestling, fair enough.
I mean, he's also doing his hunting show. Now,
I do have to admit, he looks pretty badass in camo.
I don't know. I thought, are you trying to... You know what? Never mind. I don't know. Whatever. I botched a joke. Awesome.
Nicely done. That's our Botchamania for you.
Yeah. Right. He goes over the WrestleMania card, and he has doubts on Triple H's match. And Triple H comes out. He goes, I know what I'm doing. Now,
if you knew what you're doing, then why did you sign a contract where the stipulation was up for debate, as to politely say?
Yeah. Every time you hear, I know what I'm doing, or I got this, or watch this drive, it's going to turn out bad. So, they go back and forth. Shawn Michaels goes, hey, Brock doesn't have respect like me and Taker did, and you gotta win, because it's over otherwise.
I mean, it's not like you have a job as the COO of the company, and you honestly have retired out of wrestling. Oh, wait.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait. Here comes Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's all like, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be so disappointed that everyone's going to be disappointed, and you're going to be so disappointed about being disappointed that you can't do your job outside of wrestling because you're disappointed. Because you lost.
And nobody buys this for a millisecond. Actually, the way he phrased it was confusing. It more was phrased in a way to suggest that if he lost, he would not be able to go back to his job. Pretty much from what I got and my understanding of it was that he said if he lost, he had to quit his COO job as well. Once again, proving the case that everybody is an idiot.
You know, that whole disappointed stick is exactly what John Cena said earlier in the show. That he's going to make The Rock, this loss is going to stick with him forever, sort of thing. It's the same thing.
Once again, proving that writers can't think outside of doing frickin' hyperboles.
It's the same thing. Next up.
I'll say this again, and I'll say it so many more times. When I can do your story better than you can, get the fuck out of the industry.
Now time for one of my gripes. Apparently the IC title match at WrestleMania got bumped to the pre-show. Thanks a lot for that.
I actually liked Why Ruler Time's comment on this. Hey, the IC title match is on the pre-show. Our secondary titles do matter,
I mean, this WrestleMania was set up to be like most title matches since 2000. Or whatever.
No, we have to set up for the Sweet Tea versus Sweet Teas and the Funkadactyls versus the Road Scholars versus the damn Bella Twins. No, we couldn't have an IC match last longer in the show. No, we had to put that in the pre-show.
Yeah, that should have been the pre-show. That's it. Put the IC title match in there because that's
literally we're just filling the card for no freaking reason whatsoever.
Up next, Wade Barrett versus Zack Ryder. The Miz talks about scouting tapes while Zack Ryder actually gets offense in this match.
I'm actually surprised because I think Zack Ryder had more offense in this match than Barrett did.
I think he did too. In fact, this is the most offense that Zack Ryder has had all year.
Now, this is excluding Superstars, which neither one of us see.
Yeah, Superstars doesn't count. Because that's like web only nowadays.
That's web only, and it's mainly just matches.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Which I know sounds weird. Why don't we watch a wrestling show with wrestling involved?
Saturday Morning Slam has more clout than Superstars.
I wouldn't go that far, dude. I'd actually watch Superstars over Saturday Morning Slam because they actually wrestle in that show.
Well, they do wrestle on Saturday Morning Slam, just arm drags.
And actually, I prefer Superstars because you get to see the B cast at work a little bit more.
But you get to see the Dazzler, Daniel Bryan's alter ego, and WrestleCrap nomination of the year.
I give up.
Okay, so Barrett squashes. We go Santino's backstage with Vicky and Maddox. He pulls up April's Fool's joke, because that's what the April Fool's joke is supposed to be.
No, the April Fool's joke is this entire episode.
For his wacky antics, he gets put in a match versus Mark Henry.
Which I could not thank more for.
Yeah,
I hate April Fool's jokes.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, there's only really one good April Fool's joke in WWE. There's only one.
Now, I'm just saying I hate April Fools entirely. I know, that makes me sound like a curmudgeon old bastard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The April Fool's joke on WWE was Stone Cold, the free agent, and he had to choose between Raw and Smackdown. He goes, I'm going to go with Smackdown. And he goes, April Fools, and then signs with Raw. Stunners everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. Where were we? Oh, yeah. Backstage interview with CM Punk. He goes, he will do whatever it takes to win. Whatever it takes.
You know, I was going to put up the fact that the show could be good if people thought. This show would be 10 times better if people actually thought with a heart. Because the angle they're going with is literally the angle I was making fun of them to not go with. I get it. You want to make this personal with the urn. But when William Moody died, you should have dropped that like it was a fucking brick. Not because it's in bed, not because it would insult the family. I've heard that online that, the Moody family probably did sign off on it, and it's okay in their parts. Fine. But you should have just dropped it on just a basic moral grounds of just being a good person. You know, wrestling fans get shit because they think we're nothing more than backwards, idiot people who are entertained by big sweaty men in little tights just beating the shit out of one another. Now, I'll admit, we do like the ultra-violence, but that's what wrestling is about. However, you do not make this any better for us. As a wrestling community, as people in general, when you outright make an angle about using somebody who actually died in real life, make them the tool against another person. Now, the only way I can think of this is that somebody saw Highlander and thought it would be a really good idea if they could pull off what the Kurgan did in it. But you know what the difference is? Ramirez was not a real person. Paul Bearer was a real person. His death was real. You should not be making any light of that or any fact of that. It makes you look like a complete and utter despicable person. It doesn't help the case of saying that you are a better person for it, or it doesn't make your company look good at all. No matter how many charities you do, you still look disgusting because you put shit like that on.
Yeah, and this is not even as... Okay, this is a lot worse than the stuff that they do get in trouble for. which is mainly the Trish Stratus walking on all fours, barking like a dog in her underwear.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the first thing that they point to.
That's the first thing. Second thing is the steroids abuse.
This will probably be the third thing.
No, this is going to be the third thing. The next part is going to be them pointing out the political angles with Jack Swagger.
Yep.
Do you see?
Everyone hates him.
Do you see what everything is doing to us as wrestling community, WWE? Do you see that? Are you just blind? Do we have to tout it for you? Do I have to go onto the Twitter and tell you? Will you not listen any other way? And don't anybody give me shit about how this is fictional. It's not. When somebody who actually died in real life gets involved with your entertainment pop, it loses credit. It's the equivalent of, say, if Colt Cabana died, and somebody used that to mock CM Punk with.
Ooh.
It's the exact same thing. It's not funny. It's not drama. It's just disgusting exploitation. And not good exploitation at that point.
Speaking of I'm sorry, you got...
Exploitation.
Yeah, exploitation. So.
Speaking about it?
Yeah, speaking about exploitation, Zeb Coulter versus Alberto Del Rio.
Once again, proving that everybody in the show is a moron.
Yeah.
If you could not obviously see that this was a trap and just brought down with two kendo sticks, didn't bring Rodriguez down, or ran his ass over with your car.
So, short version of this match, Coulter grabs a crutch because Rodriguez decided to watch the match anyway.
Because they're freaking idiots.
And him and Swagger beat Del Rio to not death, but really, really hurting.
They just beat him up.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're the bad guys. Fine, I get that.
Beat down.
They give a beat down. Fine, yeah. I get that. That's what the bad guys are supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So beat down. And next we have The Rock's retort thing. He doesn't say much, except
it's a Rock promo.
Yeah,
That's the best you can. That's the best you can say about it. At worst, it was useless.
He does make one point. That he has a connection to the people, and there's going to be a will of the people sort of thing, because as seen by John Cena's promo, the people pretty much took a big steaming crap on him. So, yeah.
You know, if I wasn't genre savvy, I would say that is a foolhardy idea. But even then, I would say this is a foolhardy idea because we know how it's going to end.
Yeah. Actually, I'm starting to have my doubts. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
Sixth match of the night, Chris Jericho versus Antonio Cesaro. In a fairly good match.
Two good wrestlers.
Yeah. Doing what they do. That is wrestle.
That is wrestle in a wrestling show. Never thought I'd have to see that.
Yeah, but then some guy who doesn't wrestle comes out mid-match and judges...
Takes up 2 minutes of time that we could have seen wrestling with.
Mm-hmm. And so Jericho kicks Fandango and wins. He just wins. It doesn't matter how he won. He beats Cesaro
He beats up Cesaro and then just hits Fandango in the face.
Right. And
it's a win all around for everybody.
Yeah. But then Fandango gets up, and then he starts attacking and does two massive leg drops from the top rope.
Which I do have to admit, he does a decent leg drop from top.
Yeah. Yeah, he's done that a couple times. He's also shown that he can do a Pele kick. Which is also interesting.
So this makes me think that this guy's going to be surely feet-focused.
Right. Feed him, Jack Swagger. Let's break his ankle. I'm sadistic sometimes. Okay, up next we got touts from people, and it's because they pulled people. They pulled 4 people. That's what they do.
They pull, and it's... You know, I actually went on to Bleacher Report after this, and TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
And the comments that people leave on there. You know, I go on this tirade about how bad the industry is by being so morally repugnant.
Mm-hmm.
The community itself is not helping either.
Well, you're also looking at TMZ comments, which is a step below YouTube comments, which is a step below Craigslist comments.
True. But I also saw this, but the ones that disgusted me were on Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to go into it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We know people say stupid things. This is your main event.
And our main event. What is our main event?
The Funkadactyls versus the Bella Twins. Yep.
Now, I'll give the Funkadactyls something. They are 10 times better wrestlers than the Bella Twins.
Yes, they are.
That's not saying much.
Yes.
That's very low standards to begin with. That's literally a 6-foot limbo stick I'm walking under.
Yeah, there was that very stiff DDT. You know. But the main news of this match, JBL and Michael Cole talk about food.
Once again proving that the announcers don't even give a shit about what they're watching.
Now, you could tell when they don't really care. That's where most of my comedy comes from.
That's sad.
One of the Bellas rolls up, anti-rolls up, whatever. Bellas win, I guess.
Bellas win. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
They promote the match that they're gonna have on WrestleMania.
That should be the IC title match.
It should be the IC title match.
Give me. I've been sick. Getting better.
You've been sick. I've been morally repugnant. And full of rage, if you've read my Twitter page.
Yeah. I have.
I swear to God, I make Hulk look civil.
So, here we go.
Alright, let's get this last part over with.
This segment is entitled The Undertaker's Evisceration of Mr. CM Punk. He doesn't say...
I'm not going to even talk about how that's wrong, because there is no disemboweling involved.
It's supposed to be a verbal evisceration.
Wow. I'm so hurt.
Undertaker admits that the streak is in danger because he's going to tear Punk limb from limb. That's basically what he says.
Pretty much.
Then, Druids come out. The Druids.
No, the monks come out.
Yeah, well...
You can say monks, Druids, whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. And Paul Heyman.
You want to say it or shall I?
I think I can do this. I think.
Alright, go ahead.
Paul Heyman is dressed as Paul Bearer, does the oh yes thing, reenacts the WrestleMania 20 thing. Punk attacks with the urn and beats up The Undertaker with the urn, and then drops what everybody thinks is ashes onto The Undertaker and bathes himself in the ashes. But it's sand or Nesquik, someone said.
I think it's like some sort of sand.
Yeah. And he bathes in the ashes.
Do you want to... I've already run on my tangent about how disgusting this is.
Yeah. This is pretty disgusting. If the ashes were real in kayfabe standards, whatever, that's also fairly dangerous because human remains, human ashes are actually fairly toxic as well.
Yeah, because it's it's exports, it's stuff from the outside. It's not the good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But in a second term, just, forget the physical things.
Yeah. What? It's supposed to represent Paul Bearer's ashes and completely desecrating the idea, the body, the spirit, the soul, everything.
Of a man who just died.
Of a man in real life who just passed away not even a month ago.
I went on a tyrant on Twitter because of this.
Mm-hmm.
I literally called out CM Punk on this one.
Yeah. I
didn't call him by CM Punk. I called him by Philip Jack Brooks, his real name.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, I'm disgusted at him, not as Punk, but as Philip Jack Brooks. That he has become the official lowest of the low. That he has officially become one of the most scumbag people I've ever met in my life. And if I ever do meet him in life, I will show him what it means to be such a disgusting person. Now, a few hours passed after I did that, and I thought, that's not right, dude. You're yelling at a person for what they did supposedly in character.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote an apology note. I know he probably won't read it. He probably never read the tweets itself. But it's more or less the idea that just because of something that was done kayfabe, I should not yell out at the real person.
Mm-hmm.
That all being said, I'm not going to let the writers off, though. Because this is also disgusting. And yes, we've discussed this, and I've already said it before. They probably have Mr. Moody's, family saying that's alright to do. They have their consent. And this is what disgusted me on Bleacher Report. People were fine with that. They were fine with it just being their consent. Saying that the Moody family gave consent, it's alright for them to desecrate the image. And to make fun of somebody who is dead. Let me repeat that for you who do not get this. Just because you get the okay to do something doesn't mean you should do it. Making fun of somebody who has died about a month ago, and yes, I was wrong about it being his gallbladder that actually died. He actually died because of heart attack problem. ribs. So it was actually a blood clot in his heart that actually ended his life. So I do apologize for that. I got my information wrong. It doesn't make it any less disgusting. And once again, you make us look bad as well. Hell, everybody looks bad. Not just the writers. The fans look bad because they are willing to accept this. The people who watch this look bad because they're willing to put up with shit like this and not turn off the TV. You know, the people in Bleacher Report look bad. The writers themselves in Bleacher Report look bad because the article I read that discussed this said that Paul Bearer's death improved the CM Punk Undertaker feud.
Well, you're talking about a dirt sheet and headlines.
Yes, I know. That's a headline. They go into a reason why that's good because it makes it personal. Yes, it makes it personal. And I'm fine if it was personal. But I'm not fine with the idea that this happened.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry, but I'm not defending the dirt sheet. It's a tactic that they use all the time, to get readers. It's like...
I'm not... Let me put it this way. I'm not fine with it being done on that. I'm not fine with it being talked about, period. If the dirt sheet wants to be a dirt sheet, it can wipe my ass with it.
Okay.
But you make us look bad as well. We look like a bunch of fucking monkeys. Do you not get that? You people are morally repugnant. You're disgusting. And if this is the type of association that this fucking wrestling industry is supposed to present itself, yes, they're supposed to be the bad guys. But even then, you have lines. You have lines just on fucking principle. That's it. I'm done with this shit. Now, a writer, like you said to me before we got on the air, Casey, that there's a new head writer coming in.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can come on here with some bit of moral sense to this. Because whoever is writing is just an idiot. He's disgusting. This is not acting out on against the people. I'm not saying that it's disgusting because that's what the show was about. That's because it's kayfabe. No, I'm saying it's disgusting in real life terms that anybody thought that this would be a good angle. That's what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm disgusted at everybody involved. Because this is disgusting in its own fairness. And yes, I do admit, I did apologize to CM Punk because that, insulting him as a human being outside of the career is just wrong. But, the writers, that's their job to do this. There's just, there's some things you just don't do. That's all I can say out of this. There's just some things you don't do.
Right. Lines have been crossed.
And you think they would learn from these things. This has been done before. Remember Michael Cole with Jerry Lawler?
Yeah. I
know I don't wanna.
I remember that. I also remember the time where a couple weeks after the Eddie Guerrero tribute show, I think it was actually the week after, where Randy Orton and Undertaker were feuding, and Randy Orton took the symbolic Eddie's lowrider, loaded the Undertaker into the back bumper, and drove it into the back of the Smackdown stage.
Well, that was Randy Orton.
I know, but
and
it has some parallels.
Young Randy Orton is a shithead.
Well, yeah. Well, he still kind of is, but...
He still kind of is. He's grown up a little bit.
A little bit. Right.
But... And also the Big Show with the Big Boss Man.
Right.
Let's not forget that as well.
Well, even you can argue because that was, Paul Wright, he pretty much, okayed the whole thing.
And his father was long dead before that.
Yeah.
His father died when he was in college.
Yeah.
So.
And it was helpful for him to, come to terms by doing the angle in the first place.
Which, okay, fine, you can do that. Still doesn't make it feel good in the end.
I know. They put that scene on one of those comedy, it was like WWF's funniest moments on a VHS tape. Of course, this was Attitude Era, so it was like...
Attitude Era or not. I think when the sheets that actually, like the proper magazines that did it, listed it as the worst feud for 1999.
Oh, yeah, it was a pretty bad feud. You got Big Boss Man and Big Show. You're not...
And that's just the wrestling. We wouldn't go into the moral applications of it, which with all the shtick and all that out, you can, talk about whether or not it was bad, but
a lot of things were bad.
I keep it a rule that let the dead rest.
Right.
And I think honestly that's a rule that everybody should apply to. I know if it is a fictional person that died, you can use that, but not if it's a real person. I think that's a little asterisk you've got to add to all this.
Right. So, predictions for WrestleMania.
Predictions. I'm going with Cena winning because, it's not because you're gonna need the WWE Championship belt back into like the circuit, and with The Rock, who is an actor, he's not gonna be there all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Cena, simply because, well, that's just how I see it going.
Right. I could see it in two ways, and I hate to bring this up because it comes up every few months with every John Cena feud. Will he turn heel? Will he turn heel? I could see him turning heel at WrestleMania because he's getting a little bit more of an ego thing going on. He fails at WrestleMania and then gains it back at Extreme Rules. As heel Cena. Because the people let him down again.
I don't see that. Simply as a marketing thing, I don't see it.
I know. I don't really buy it. But it's just in the back of the head sort of thing.
You could do... Maybe it could be like a full WCW thing and it turns Hulk Hogan bad. Mm-hmm. Then maybe that could work out. I guess. But if you remember, that didn't turn out well for Hogan, did it?
John Cena is part of the Shield. He joined the Shield. He's leading the Shield.
That just seems silly now.
Okay, let's see what else. World Heavyweight Championship.
This one's going to be hard to predict. But, to be quite honest, with how the moral implications goes, I'm going to see Del Rio sustaining it.
I see that too.
Because, letting Swagger win... Yeah.
Swagger is a good wrestler, however...
It's not that he's a bad wrestler, it's just this angle he's going with. It's icky at best. Yeah. And I think you might want to drop that as soon as possible.
I think this is one of those angles where it's so offensive that the entire match itself is going to be like Del Rio dominates pretty much, and you're going to feel good about it, sort of thing.
Well, that's what I'm thinking about the CM Punk Undertaker thing, but...
That too. It's almost like the, I hate to bring that up, the Vince versus Brett thing. Remember that when Vince
I
was
try not to.
Vince was all like, Hart or nothing, and then everyone in the Hart family beats up Vince.
I could see that, but that just doesn't make a good wrestling show at that point. So it's probably gonna go back and forth, but in the end, I think Del Rio is gonna win.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully he gets over, because I'm tired. I'm getting tired of him being champ and not getting over.
I think he'll get over simply just because Swagger is so disgusting.
I know, but that's like the only reason why.
Do you think they actually did this on purpose because he was not getting over while as a champ?
Yes.
I think he's a fine champ.
I know. I think he's a good champion. Don't get me wrong. I like his wrestling ability. He can wrestle. That's a good thing. However, I can't get around his character, heel or face.
Yeah, it's a very hard character to get around. It works better as heel because he's more the aristocratic snob.
Yeah.
Sort of like Ted DiBiase used to do with the $1 Million Man.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work as well as face, but, him doing the embracing America and embracing his Latino heritage and all that stuff, that might work, as well as Swagger being such a repugnant person in this feud. It may turn over to his favor.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that working.
Let's see, what else? The Tag Team Championship. The debut of Big E.
It's going to be a good wrestling. It's probably going to be like a good between, but I honestly can't see Ziggler and Big E winning the championship.
Mm-hmm. Because
as much as the Kane Daniel Bryan thing is going nowhere, it is actually working out pretty. The tag team, them working as a tag team champions, actually does work out pretty well.
Mm-hmm. I actually do see Ziggler and Big E getting the win. And then AJ winning the Divas Championship to do that whole power couple stable thing. I don't know. I'm just kind of starved for that.
I don't see it because then Ziggler is probably going to go after the WWE World Champion. I don't see it because
the big gold belt.
He's going to go after the big gold belt because he still has the Money in the Bank thing. And, you don't want to litigate all your championships to one couple.
Right.
This is not like the WCW.
Or the TNA thing, when Kurt Angle literally got every championship.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. That's just
horrible.
Stupid. That's just stupid. How about Sweet Tea and the Funkadactyls against the Rhodes Scholars and the Bella Twins?
Bathroom break.
Yeah, that seems about right. I'm going with pie on this one, and not the pie in the circular food pie. I'm going with the numerical pie.
Oh, okay.
So this is going to be infinitely painful.
Right. And let's see, anything else worth mentioning?
The IC Championship
on the pre-show. The Barrett. I don't care. Wade Barrett will win because The Miz is a pompous asshole, heel or face.
I could see Miz winning simply because, it'd give him the boost, and quite honest, it's going nowhere with Barrett.
I know it is. But I don't really care all that much.
So to be fair, that it's not going anywhere with the championship, period.
Yeah.
So I can't blame that on Barrett himself. I just blame it on the people.
I just wish that Cesaro got, feuds.
Oh, speaking of other feuds, the Fandango Jericho feud?
I'm
going with Fandango. Because that's how you introduce a person.
Yeah, I think that's... I agree with that.
But my problem with it is the setup. You have this guy come out You do nothing with him, and then you give him a match at WrestleMania, and you're going to show him wrestle there. All right, you're debuting 2 people, Big E and Fandango. There. Fair enough. You should have built it up. You should have built it up with Fandango and Jericho with the feud about a month ago, and just instead of having this feud just come out of nowhere. That's what I think you should have done. But it does. But then again, that's just me being a better booker than the actual bookers.
Well, Jericho was going back and forth between storylines. It's like,
I know Jericho was meandering.
Yeah, I mean it's like the Shield match.
Oh, speaking of matches, do you think the Shield is gonna win?
I think so.
I know this is me going with all the good guys, but the Omega Orton team is going to win. Because I honestly think that WrestleMania should be the place where all the good guys win.
Normally it is.
Because it's the big event.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. If Omega Team Omega Orton wins, it's because of Big Show. Because everyone else has fell.
I think it's actually going to be showing that the 3 guys are going to work as a team.
There might be some arguing or whatever it is.
And it's going to be like one of those episodes. It's going to be like one of those things where they're going to be forcing the idea that these guys just aren't working together. They're the mishaps of the mishaps. They're the weirdos. But that's what we need to beat these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, not the heroes that we deserve, but the heroes we need.
Right. Yeah.
And I think Big Show is going to go face after this.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I think it is a good time to turn Big Show back to face.
I know. I'm starting to get whiplash.
Yeah, it's good. He was a good heel.
Yeah.
He was a very good heel. But I think it's good. I think it's a good time to turn him back to face.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I guess. But hey, that's all going to happen at WrestleMania.
Oh, last one. Undertaker versus Punk.
Taker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Skip the formalities.
Yeah, skip the formalities. Basic idea is this is going to be like one of those more repugnant matches. Like, this is going to be like the Jack Swagger match.
Yeah. It's going to feel so good when Taker wins. Just because. Okay, so yeah, next week.
Oh, one last match. We forgot. The Triple H versus Lesnar match.
Oh, that one. Lesnar.
I'm split on this one. Once again, my instincts are going with the face because it's WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Because such a big price is on stage. But on the other hand, Lesnar beat him before. But then I'm going back to saying, like, if he beat him before, then he'll win this time. Because this isn't like Taker, who always wins his matches at WrestleMania. I'm just going either way with this.
Yeah. I'd say Lesnar because Triple H's career is on the line.
Nah, I don't see that. Because they seem to be enforcing the idea that his COO-ship will end when he loses.
I think that's really just implied with disappointment.
It's implied with the disappointment, but it just sounds stupid to me. But then again, that's the writer's fault.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the true feud. Us versus the writers.
That's
now,
I
have a lot of swords in my place. You get over here quickly, Casey, and I'll give you a few things. We'll do some guerrilla tactics against the Riders, and we'll just wipe them out easily.
Get the ladder.
Oh yes, we gotta get the ladder out.
Get the ladder.
My dad has a few sledgehammers as well, so bring those out.
We'll show you Extreme Rules.
I think we should stop talking about this.
Yeah,
we
we should. because we're over time. Next week.
Shit, we are.
Next week we won't have a time limit. No time limit next week.
Sweet, I love those matches.
Yeah, this is going to be a no count out, no time limit match.
Alright, hold on. Alright, we'll see y'all. I'll see y'all later, and for the love of God, keep morals up.
Yeah, next week.
Be good people.
Yeah, be good to you humans. Again, next week. WrestleMania, Raw after, Vince's announcement. We'll see you next time. Booyah.
I'm gonna get my